You want to break? You want to change? Then understand this. Nothing in this life transforms without first falling apart. You think change is this beautiful, clean process where you wake up one day and suddenly you're different. No, change is messy. Change is painful. Change requires you to shatter everything you thought you were and rebuild from the ground up. Look at yourself right now. Really look. Are you happy with what you see? Are you living the life you imagined when you were younger? Or are you stuck in the same patterns, the same routines, the same comfortable prison you built for yourself? Most people never change because they're too afraid to break. They'd rather stay comfortable in their misery than face the uncertainty of transformation. You know what your problem is? You want the results without the wreckage. You want the butterfly without the cocoon. You want the strong muscles without the torn fibers. You want the calloused hands without the blisters. But that's not how life works. That's not how growth works. Everything beautiful in this world came from something breaking first. Think about a seed. You plant it in the ground, and what happens? It breaks open. The shell cracks. The seed dies, so the plant can live. If that seed held on to its form, if it refused to break, it would stay a seed forever, buried, useless, dead. But when it surrenders to the break, when it allows itself to be destroyed, that's when life begins. That's when roots dig deep. That's when something new pushes through the soil and reaches for the sun. You are that seed right now, and you have a choice. You can stay intact, safe, unchanged, or you can break open and become something greater than you ever imagined. The question is, do you have the courage to let yourself fall apart? Most people don't. Most people cling to their old identity like a drowning man clings to a piece of driftwood. They hold on so tight their knuckles turn white. They convince themselves that who they are right now is who they'll always be. They wear their limitations like a badge of honor. This is just how I am, they say. I can't change, they say. And you know what? They're right. Not because they can't change, but because they won't break. Breaking is terrifying. Breaking means admitting you were wrong. Breaking means facing the parts of yourself you've been hiding from. Breaking means looking in the mirror and seeing all the ways you've failed yourself. Breaking means accepting that the life you're living isn't the life you want. And that's scary. That's why most people never do it. They'd rather live in denial than face the truth. But you're different. You're here right now because somewhere deep inside, you know you need to break. You know you need to change. You know that if you keep going the way you're going, 5 years from now you'll be in the exact same place. Only older, only more bitter, only more full of regret. And that terrifies you more than breaking ever could. So let's talk about what breaking really means. Breaking isn't giving up. Breaking isn't failure. Breaking is the conscious decision to destroy the version of yourself that's keeping you small. It's taking a hammer to the walls you built around your comfort zone. It's setting fire to the excuses you've been feeding yourself. It's drowning the voice in your head that keeps telling you you're not good enough. Breaking is violent. Breaking is aggressive. Breaking doesn't ask permission. You don't negotiate with your old self. You don't try to reason with your fears. You don't gently coax yourself into change. You force it. You grab yourself by the collar and you drag yourself through the fire whether you want to go or not. Because here's the truth nobody wants to hear. You will never feel ready to change. Never. You'll never wake up one morning and think, today's the perfect day to completely upend my life. That moment doesn't exist. That feeling doesn't come. You're waiting for confidence you'll never have. You're waiting for certainty in a world that offers none. You're waiting for permission from a universe that doesn't care if you waste your entire life waiting. Stop waiting. Start breaking. You want to know what's holding you back? It's not your circumstances. It's not your past. It's not the people around you. It's you. It's the story you keep telling yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. It's the identity you've wrapped yourself in like a security blanket. It's the comfortable lies you believe because the uncomfortable truth is too much to bear. You tell yourself you're not disciplined enough. You tell yourself you're not smart enough. You tell yourself you don't have enough time, enough money, enough support. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. You tell yourself you're different from everyone else who succeeded. You tell yourself you're special in your inability to change. Those are the chains. Those are the walls. Those are the bars of your self-made prison. And until you break them, until you smash them into pieces so small they can never be put back together, you will stay exactly where you are. So how do you break? You start by getting honest, brutally, painfully, uncomfortably honest. You stop lying to yourself about why you're not where you want to be. You stop blaming your parents, your boss, your circumstances, your luck. You look yourself in the eye and you say, I am here because of the choices I made. I am here because I chose comfort over growth. I am here because I was too scared to bet on myself. That hurts, doesn't it? Good. It should hurt. Pain is the chisel that chips away at the marble to reveal the statue underneath. Pain is the fire that burns away the impurities to leave pure gold. Pain is your teacher, your guide, your proof that you're finally doing something that matters. But here's what they don't tell you about breaking. Once you start, you can't stop halfway. You can't crack a little bit and then glue yourself back together. You can't tear down half the walls and decide you like the cage better. When you commit to breaking, you have to go all the way. You have to burn the boats. You have to cut off your retreat. You have to make it impossible to go back to who you were. That means cutting out the people who keep you small. That means quitting the job that's killing your soul. That means ending the relationship that's draining your life force. That means saying no to the things that used to give you comfort but now only hold you back. That means becoming someone your old friends don't recognize. That means disappointing the people who preferred you weak. And that's where most people quit. Not at the beginning, but right here, right when the breaking starts to hurt people they care about. Right when their decision to change makes others uncomfortable. Right when their growth highlights other people's stagnation. They feel guilty. They feel selfish. They feel like they're doing something wrong. But you're not doing something wrong. You're doing something necessary. You're choosing yourself. And if people can't handle that, if people can't support that, then they were never your people to begin with. They were anchors disguised as companions. They were weights disguised as support systems. They were comfort disguised as love. Real love wants you to grow. Real love celebrates your breaking because it knows you're becoming. Real love doesn't ask you to stay small so others can feel big. Real love doesn't demand you remain broken so others don't have to face their own need to change. So break. Break loud. Break messy. Break in a way that makes people uncomfortable because your transformation reminds them of their own stagnation. Break in a way that inspires some and threatens others. Break in a way that's irreversible, undeniable, unstoppable. But here's the thing about breaking. It's not a one-time event. It's a process. It's daily. It's constant. Every single day you wake up and you have to choose to break a little more. You have to choose to kill the old habits that keep creeping back. You have to choose to silence the old voice that keeps whispering doubts. You have to choose to reject the old patterns that feel so familiar, so safe, so easy. Because your old self doesn't die easy. Your old self will fight for survival. Your old self will throw everything it has at you to make you quit. It will whisper in your weakest moments. It will seduce you with memories of easier times. It will convince you that change isn't worth it, that comfort is underrated, that you were fine the way you were. Don't listen. That voice is a liar. That voice is fear wearing a disguise. That voice is the last gasp of a dying identity that knows its time is over. Let it scream, let it beg, let it plead, and then let it die. You want to know what happens after you break? You rebuild. But not the same way, not with the same materials, not on the same foundation. You rebuild stronger, you rebuild wiser, you rebuild with intention instead of accident, you rebuild with purpose instead of habit, you rebuild into something the old you couldn't even imagine. Think about a bone that breaks. When it heals, when the calcium deposits harden, that bone becomes stronger at the break point than it was before. The weakest part becomes the strongest part. The breaking point becomes the power point. That's what happens to you when you allow yourself to break. The parts of you that shattered become the parts of you that are unbreakable. But you have to let it happen. You have to embrace the break. You have to stop resisting the pain and start using it. You have to stop seeing change as something happening to you and start seeing it as something you're choosing for yourself. And yes, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt worse than anything you've ever experienced. There will be days when you question everything. Days when you wonder if you made a mistake. Days when the old life looks better than the new one because at least it was familiar. Days when you feel more broken than transformed. Those are the days that matter most. Those are the days when you prove to yourself what you're really made of. Those are the days when you either become who you're meant to be or you crawl back into who you were. Those are the days when winners are separated from quitters, when champions are separated from pretenders, when legends are separated from statistics. On those days, you don't need motivation. You don't need inspiration. You don't need someone to hold your hand and tell you it's going to be okay. You need to remember why you started breaking in the first place. You need to remember the person you were and the person you refused to become. You need to remember that staying broken in the old way is more painful than breaking into a new way. You think it's hard to change. It's harder to stay the same. It's harder to wake up every day knowing you're living below your potential. It's harder to go to bed every night with the weight of regret on your chest. It's harder to look at yourself in the mirror and see someone who gave up on their dreams because they were too scared to fight for them. That's the real pain. That's the pain that lasts. That's the pain that grows and spreads and eventually consumes everything good about you. That's the pain that turns into bitterness, resentment, anger at the world. That's the pain that makes you smaller with each passing year until there's nothing left but a shell of who you could have been. Breaking hurts, but staying broken hurts more. Changing is hard, but staying the same is harder. Transformation requires sacrifice, but stagnation requires your soul. So which pain do you choose? The pain that leads to growth, or the pain that leads to regret? The pain that's temporary, or the pain that's permanent? The pain that makes you stronger, or the pain that makes you smaller? Choose the break, choose the change, choose the transformation, choose yourself. And when you make that choice, when you really commit to breaking, something incredible happens. The world starts to shift. Opportunities appear that weren't there before. People show up who support your journey. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. Not because the universe rewards change, but because you become someone different. You become someone who sees opportunities instead of obstacles. You become someone who attracts support instead of sympathy. You become someone who opens doors instead of waiting for them to open. But none of that happens if you don't break first. None of that happens if you cling to the old version of yourself. None of that happens if you prioritize comfort over growth. You know what's funny? The things you're most afraid to break are usually the things holding you back the most. That relationship that makes you feel safe but keeps you small. That job that pays the bills but kills your spirit. That routine that feels comfortable but leads nowhere. That identity that's familiar but isn't you anymore. We hold on to these things like they're treasures when really they're chains. We protect them like they're precious when really they're poison. We defend them like they're part of us when really they're preventing us from becoming who we're meant to be. Let them go. Break them. Destroy them. Not out of anger, but out of love for yourself. Not out of hate for your past, but out of commitment to your future. Not because they're bad, but because you're ready for better. And here's what nobody tells you about breaking. It gets easier. Not because the breaking becomes less painful, but because you become stronger. The first break is terrifying. The second break is scary. The third break is uncomfortable. By the 10th break, you understand that breaking is just part of growth. You stop fearing it. You start expecting it. Eventually, you start seeking it out. Because once you understand that breaking leads to becoming, once you experience the transformation that comes from destruction, once you see who you can be when you're not holding on to who you were, you can never go back. You can never settle for staying the same. You can never accept stagnation when you know what growth feels like. That's when you become dangerous. Not dangerous to others, but dangerous to mediocrity, dangerous to excuses, dangerous to limitations, dangerous to anything that tries to keep you small. You become a force that can't be stopped because you're not afraid to lose everything to become everything. Think about water. You can dam it up, you can redirect it, you can slow it down, but you can't stop it. It will find a way through, over, under, or around any obstacle. It will wear down mountains given enough time. It will carve canyons through solid rock. It's unstoppable not because it's strong, but because it's relentless. Because it doesn't resist breaking. It breaks constantly and keeps flowing. Be like water. Break constantly. Flow constantly. Adapt constantly. Don't resist the obstacles. Break through them. Don't avoid the hard path. Let it break you into something harder. Don't fear the pressure. Let it break you into something more valuable. Because pressure creates diamonds. Heat creates steel. Struggle creates strength. And breaking creates the person you're meant to become. But you have to trust the process. You have to believe that the breaking has a purpose even when you can't see it. You have to have faith that the pain is productive even when it feels pointless. You have to know that you're not falling apart. You're falling into place. This is where most people lose heart. Right here in the middle of the breaking, when everything hurts and nothing makes sense, and the person they were is dead, but the person they're becoming hasn't arrived yet. They're in the void. They're in the gap. They're in the space between who they were and who they're becoming, and it's terrifying. But that void is sacred. That gap is necessary. That space is where the transformation actually happens. You can't rush through it. You can't skip over it. You have to sit in the discomfort. You have to embrace the uncertainty. You have to trust that on the other side of this breaking is a version of you that makes all the pain worth it. And it will be worth it. I promise you it will be worth it. When you look back on your life, you won't regret the times you broke. You'll regret the times you didn't. You'll regret the changes you were too scared to make. You'll regret the person you could have become if only you had the courage to destroy the person you were. Don't let that be you. Don't let fear keep you from your destiny. Don't let comfort rob you of your potential. Don't let safety steal your greatness. Break, change, transform, become. The world doesn't need another person playing it safe. The world doesn't need another person settling for good enough. The world doesn't need another person hiding their light because they're afraid to shine too bright. The world needs you broken open, raw, real, and radiating with the power of someone who refused to stay the same. So what are you waiting for? Permission? You won't get it. Certainty? You'll never have it. The perfect moment? It doesn't exist. All you have is right now. All you have is this moment. All you have is the choice between staying who you are or breaking into who you're meant to be. Choose to break. Choose to change. choose to transform. Your old life is waiting to die. Your new life is waiting to begin. But both of those things require you to do the one thing you've been avoiding. You have to break, and the breaking has to start today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Today, right now, this moment. Take the first step, make the first break, start the destruction that leads to construction. Begin the ending that creates a new beginning. Initiate the death that brings rebirth. And when it gets hard, when it hurts so bad you want to quit, when everything in you is screaming to go back to who you were, remember this: you're not breaking down, you're breaking through. You're not falling apart, you're falling together. You're not losing yourself, you're finding yourself. The breaking is the making, the destruction is the construction, the death is the birth. And on the other side of all that pain, all that fear, all that uncertainty, is a version of you that's stronger, wiser, more powerful, more authentic, more alive than you ever thought possible. But you have to break first. You have to let go of who you were to make room for who you're becoming. You have to trust that the universe isn't punishing you with this pain. It's preparing you for your purpose. So break. Break with purpose. Break with intention. Break with the understanding that every piece of you that shatters is making space for something better to grow. Break knowing that you're not weak for falling apart. You're brave for having the courage to let it happen. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your chance to stop living the life you settled for and start building the life you deserve. But it requires one thing from you, one decision, one commitment, one choice that changes everything. You have to break. And you have to break now. Not because you're broken, but because you're ready to become unbreakable. Not because you're weak, but because you're ready to discover your strength. Not because you're lost, but because you're ready to find yourself. The old you has to die. The comfortable you has to disappear. The safe you has to cease to exist. And in that death, in that disappearance, in that ending, you will find your beginning. You will discover your power. You will become who you were always meant to be. So do it. Break. Change. Transform. Stop thinking about it and start living it. Stop wishing for it and start doing it. The world is waiting for the person you'll become when you finally have the courage to destroy the person you are. Break yourself open and let the light in. Break yourself apart and let the truth out. Break yourself free and let your potential loose. You are not meant to live small. You are not meant to play it safe. You are not meant to stay the same. You are meant to break. You are meant to change. You're meant to transform, and that journey starts the moment you decide you're done being who you were and ready to become who you are. Make that decision. Make it now. Make it final. And then watch as your entire life shifts, transforms, and becomes something you never imagined possible. To change, you must break. So break. Break beautifully. Break powerfully. Break completely. And rise from those broken pieces as something the world has never seen before. Your transformation is waiting, but it can't begin until you do the one thing you've been avoiding. You know what it is. You know what needs to break. You know what needs to change. You know what needs to die so something better can live. Stop avoiding it. Stop delaying it. Stop fearing it. Embrace it. Welcome it. Do it. Break. Change. Transform. Become. The time is now. The person is you. The choice is yours. Make it count. Listen to me. Every single person who ever achieved anything worth achieving had to break first. Every champion had to break their limits. Every entrepreneur had to break their fear of failure. Every artist had to break their self-doubt. Every leader had to break their need for approval. Nobody gets to greatness by staying comfortable. Nobody reaches their potential by playing it safe. Nobody transforms by protecting who they used to be. You look at successful people and you think they just got lucky. You think they were born different. You think they had advantages you don't have. But that's not the truth. The truth is they broke when you chose to bend. They shattered when you chose to crack. They destroyed their old life when you chose to repair yours. They went all in when you kept one foot out the door. That's the difference. That's what separates the people living their dreams from the people dreaming about living. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not privilege. It's the willingness to break everything that's holding you back and build something new from the wreckage. And I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking about all the reasons why you can't break. You're thinking about your responsibilities. You're thinking about the people depending on you. You're thinking about the bills you have to pay and the obligations you have to meet. You're thinking about all the logical, practical, sensible reasons why now is not the time. But here's the truth. There will never be a good time. There will always be responsibilities. There will always be bills. There will always be obligations. There will always be reasons to stay exactly where you are. If you wait for the perfect moment to break, you'll wait forever. If you wait for all your ducks to be in a row, they never will be. If you wait for permission from the world to change, the world will tell you to stay the same. So stop waiting, stop planning, stop preparing. Just break. Break now. Break messy. Break imperfectly. Break with everything still uncertain and unclear. Break with fear in your heart and doubt in your mind. Break even though you don't know what comes next. Break because the alternative is spending the rest of your life wondering what could have been. You want to know the real tragedy? It's not the people who break and fail. It's the people who never break at all. It's the people who live their entire lives in the cage of their comfort zone. It's the people who die with their dreams still inside them, their potential still untapped, their purpose still undiscovered. Don't be that person. Don't let your tombstone be a list of could-haves and should-haves and would-haves. Don't let your eulogy be about what you almost did, what you almost became, what you almost achieved. Let your life be proof that you had the guts to break. Let your story be about transformation, not stagnation. Let your legacy be the person you became, not the person you stayed. Because here's what they don't tell you. You're going to die anyway. You're going to reach the end of this life whether you break or not, whether you change or not, whether you transform or not. The only question is what version of you will be lying on that deathbed. Will it be the version that played it safe, or the version that bet everything on themselves? Will you die wondering what could have been, or will you die knowing you gave everything you had? Will you die full of regret, or will you die full of stories? Will you die as the person you were, or as the person you became? That decision is being made right now, not tomorrow, not someday, right now, in this moment. You're either choosing to break or choosing to stay broken. You're either choosing to change or choosing to stagnate. You're either choosing growth or choosing comfort. And whatever you choose in this moment will determine who you become in the next. So choose wisely, choose courageously, choose yourself. And understand something, breaking doesn't mean you're going to lose everything. Breaking means you're going to lose the wrong things so you can gain the right things. You're going to lose the fake friends so you can find real ones. You're going to lose the dead-end job so you can find your purpose. You're going to lose the comfortable life so you can build a meaningful one. Everything you lose in the breaking was never meant to go with you anyway. It was baggage. It was dead weight. It was an anchor holding you at the bottom when you were meant to rise to the top. Let it go. Let it all go. Mourn it if you need to, but don't hold on to it. Don't let the fear of losing what you have stop you from gaining what you need. Because what's on the other side of breaking is worth more than everything you're holding on to. What's on the other side is freedom. What's on the other side is peace. What's on the other side is power. What's on the other side is the real you, the authentic you, the you that's been buried under layers of fear and doubt and other people's expectations. That version of you is worth fighting for. That version of you is worth suffering for. That version of you is worth breaking for. And until you're willing to destroy everything standing between you and that version, you'll never meet them. You'll never become them. You'll never be them. So make the choice. Make it now. Decide that today is the day you stop protecting your comfort and start pursuing your potential. Decide that today is the day you stop maintaining your cage and start building your wings. Decide that today is the day you stop surviving and start thriving. Break the routine that's killing your creativity. Break the relationship that's draining your energy. Break the belief that's limiting your possibilities. Break the habit that's stealing your health. Break the fear that's blocking your destiny. Break whatever needs to break so you can become whoever you need to become. And do it with conviction. Do it with certainty. Do it with the understanding that you're not destroying your life. You're saving it. You're not ruining your future. You're creating it. You're not making a mistake. You're making a move. Because movement is life. Stagnation is death. And right now, in this moment, you get to choose which one you want. You get to choose whether you're going to keep rotting in place or start growing toward the sun. You get to choose whether you're going to stay buried or break through the soil. And I'm telling you right now, break through, break free, break out, break up, break down, break whatever needs to break so you can build what needs to be built. Your time is limited, your life is finite, your opportunity is now. Don't waste another second protecting a version of yourself that's already dead. Don't waste another minute maintaining a life that's making you miserable. Don't waste another hour playing it safe when you were born to be extraordinary. Break. Today. Now. This moment. Not because it's easy, not because it's safe, not because it's comfortable, but because it's necessary, because it's time, because you're ready. And you are ready, even if you don't feel ready, even if you're scared, even if you're uncertain. You're ready because you're still here. You're ready because you're still fighting. You're ready because somewhere deep inside, you know that staying the same is no longer an option. So trust that. Trust yourself. Trust the process. Trust that the breaking will lead to building. Trust that the destruction will lead to creation. Trust that the ending will lead to a beginning. And then do it. Break. Change. Transform. Become everything you were meant to be. The world is waiting. Your future is waiting. Your destiny is waiting. All that standing between you and them is your willingness to let go of who you were.